got injections in my face, my breast, and my hips and my buttocks.
So she had that kind of injection. I mean, like, they really used that kind of injection. I wonder what kind of injection was that. I would just want to know how big was that kind of injection, because if they inject on her a kind of really big, I would love it too, but I'm really sure it wasn't like that kind of injection.
I felt like a monster, I really did. A sideshow circus clown.
She was one of the world's most infamous victims of black market surgery.
I remembered someone has had this kind of plastic surgery as well way back then in the Philippines.
46-year-old Raji Nareen Singh's nightmare began when a fake doctor pumped her face and body with a devastating toxic filler. But now, thanks to a kind-hearted surgeon, the transgender activist is rebuilding her life and even looking for love.
I really appreciate this kind of surgeon that really had it kind of golden heart to help her.
Raji was already taking hormones and living as a lady when she decided to take things a step further.
I didn't want to look like a man in a dress. To be blunt, if you really want to truly live as a woman, you need to do some sort of body and facial reconstruction. That's when
If she could just like take hormone pills or like kind of pills, she could just like have that kind of little results, or whereas she puts on plastic surgery, she could have a better result, like a bigger boobs.
is to go get injections done. We call it in our community pumping.
In 2005, she turned to the now infamous backstreet surgeon, O'Neill Ron Morris, known as the Duchess, spending $3,000 on injections. Morris, herself a transgender
Oh my
woman.
gosh, that kind of butt, it doesn't look like a natural butt. It doesn't look like a butt of Kim Kardashian or Kylie Kardashian, or Kylie Jenner, I mean. I'm looking at it as like on a kind of balloon or a kind of bloated ball.
In cheap alternatives to plastic
It's not an hourglass, it looks like overrated.
surgery.
There, that's the apartment right there.
Today, Raji is facing her demons by returning to the apartment where her life changed forever.
Here is where I came to get the injections. Initially, I was fine, but then the nightmare started.
Morris has since been jailed for carrying out another botched operation without a license.
She consulted a doctor that doesn't have a license. That's technically wrong. I mean, like, if you consulted a fake doctor, it would probably ended like that.
My message to anyone that would consider doing what I did is not to do it. Don't do it. Because you could die from it, or you could end up like me, disfigured.
Raji was too ashamed to seek help and hardly left home until a friend referred her to Dr. John Martin.
Let's have you lie down here. We'll get started.
It was really by far the worst case of a bad injection that I'd ever seen. We're not exactly sure what was injected.
It probably ended like an opposite of, I mean, like, looking up pretty.
To Raji's face. Even trying to get it out, you just sort of chopped away at it like you were chopping at concrete.
Dr. Martin sees Raji once a month and is gradually repairing the damage with softening injections and ultrasound and laser therapy.
Wow, this one's gone away completely.
I know.
It's amazing that this has just totally disappeared.
The future's looking much more positive for her face.
What I worry about more is the inflammation in the rest of her body, both in her breasts and in her buttocks, where she has had really large volumes of substance injected.
It's a long process, but we're getting there.
And then I'll be able to say I'm naturally beauty, right?
Thanks to the improvements, Raji is once again enjoying her life and even going on dates.
I consider my...
Really think of a lesson, like, don't overstep up your expectations. I mean, don't do something else that's really dangerous just to attain your don't step up to the, I don't know, what was that?
I do tend to like younger men. This guy did say that I reminded him of a sexy dragon. I didn't know whether to kiss him or slap them.
Now, after years of suffering, things are finally on the up for Raji. And although she may never truly recover from her nightmare surgery, she's ready to enjoy life and love once again.
In order for me to truly move on and do some wonderful things with my life, I have to be able to forgive and I have to be able to move on. I believe that.
I hope you learned the lesson. I do really learn something from this lesson. I mean, from this video. Charot lang.